Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Collin coming to you with your NXT Takeover 31 review on Sunday, October 4th, 2020. What a show tonight, man. What a show. I thought this was the best NXT Takeover during the pandemic. I still think that NXT Takeover Portland was the best takeover this year. But this takeover tonight was a 3-week build with a lazy build, was the best takeover show during the pandemic, in my opinion. I really loved this show tonight. I loved this takeover. It flew by. I enjoyed every match besides the ending of the NXT Women's Championship match, which we will get to. But I really enjoyed the show tonight, man. I was going into this show with low expectations besides 2 matches. And you know what? They exceeded my expectations. So you know what? Good on NXT, man. Good on them for exceeding my expectations. And I really enjoyed the show tonight. The show flew by. It flew by fast. The show got over around 9:25, which I absolutely love. I think all pay-per-views should be 3 hours or under. And that's a great thing about TakeOver, is that the shows fly by fast. And it's like under 3 hours, 2.5 hours. I love it. I love the pace. I love the format. The 5-match TakeOver. It's just awesome. But I'm just not even going to get into the videos, the past videos. I just want to get right into this review because we got so much to talk about in this video. Now, before I talk about the in-ring action of the show and the matches, tonight, it felt like a new beginning for NXT as they are no longer at Full Sail University. Instead, they are in the WWE Performance Center, and they are reviving things from 1953. And they're now at the Capitol Wrestling Center. I thought the presentation of this new setup for NXT was absolutely amazing. I loved it. And there's something that I love about AEW, that their show feels very old school. Their storylines feel old school. And I love that. This set felt very, very old school. And I think with this set and how eye-opening it is, I think it could bring people back who fell out of love with NXT, and they could come back in love with NXT. Because I absolutely love the presentation of this new setup that they had tonight at the Capitol Wrestling Center. I loved it. I thought the cage was a little unnecessary. There was a plexiglass behind it, by the way. They still have the plexiglass, but they added the fence. To me, that's a little bit unnecessary, but besides that, it just comes off very old school, and by that I loved it. And on its first night, I love the presentation of the Capitol Wrestling Center, and that's where NXT is going to be for the next probably couple years. Because let me tell you, for college, I'm still in high school. For college, one of the colleges I'm looking at is Full Sail University. And it does suck for that instance alone. It does suck that they are moving out of Full Sail. But I am hoping they allow fans, when this is all over, when this pandemic's all over, they do allow fans into the Capitol Wrestling Center, and we can get fans at NXT again. And Full Sail University, I looked up today, is 8 miles away from the Performance Center. So you bet your ass I would be going to NXT shows at the Performance Center when this is all over, hopefully. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. I loved it. I thought it's a great thing. And they need some sort of change. I think getting out of Full Sail University was maybe the change they need, because their presentation during the pandemic in Full Sail didn't look that eye-opening to me, but on night one, pretty good presentation, man. So let's get into the in-ring action. We started off this show with Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest for the North American Championship. And right when this match started, I'm like, oh boy, they're going to set the tone high for this show. And man, they did it. What a great match this was. This was a great North American Championship match between Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest. They told a good story here. Gargano obviously set up the steps to try to get back at Damian Priest for what happened at Takeover in Your House. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen, but the match was still very good. Johnny couldn't get the Gargano escape. Priest kept getting out. Priest kicked out of 2 super kicks in a row by Gargano. Priest sidewalk chokeslam. Then at the end, Johnny hit another 2 super kicks, and he went for the slingshot DDT to win the North American title. Priest caught him, ledged him on the ropes, hit the final reckoning, and Damian Priest retained the NXT North American Championship in a great opening match. There was a reason why these 2 guys opened up the show. It's because they were going to put on that match right there. That was freaking great. And honestly, it's a coin toss, but I thought this match with Johnny Gargano was Damian Priest's best match he ever had in NXT. He had a great match back at June at Takeover in Your House with Finn Balor. But I thought this match tonight with Johnny Gargano, this was really good stuff, man. This was a great opening match. Damian Priest retained the North American title, and I'm glad he did. Johnny does not need the North American Championship, and now Damian Priest can go on to face challengers like Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, maybe Kushida. We'll see where he goes with the North American Championship later down the line. But Damian Priest retained the title tonight. Great opening match. And let's move on to Velveteen Dream versus Kushida, which was a match that I did not care about going into this show at all. But it turned out to be pretty good. I'm not going to lie. This new Kushida should have been the Kushida we always got in NXT. This new aggressive side of Kushida should have been the Kushida we got when he debuted in 2019. He looked great tonight. He looked absolutely great. Attacking Velveteen Dream during his entrance. And before I talk about the match, Velveteen Dream, man, I mean, he just does not feel the same. He does not feel the same anymore when he did a couple years ago. This whole allegation stuff, really, it ruined his career. And maybe with the way they ended this match, it could have been a way to write Velveteen off of television for hopefully the end of the year. But my God, you can see the responses. You can see the responses on social media that people legitimately do not want to see this guy, and they get pissed off every time this guy is in a high-profile takeover match like he was tonight against Kushida. This was a very good match. And by the way, his hair looked ridiculous. The gray hair, it looked like he messed up his hairspray, and his face was gray. I don't know if that came off the same way with you guys, but that's the way it came off with me. I thought he looked absolutely ridiculous in the gray hair, and he looked like Don King. If you guys know who he is, he looked like a lot like Don King, and he looked absolutely, he looked a mess. He looked absolutely a mess. But this match, I did not expect this match to be as good as it was. This was a pretty good match. Dream hit the Dream Valley Driver and then hit the Purple Rainmaker. Now, this didn't make sense. Velveteen Dream was selling his left elbow during the match, okay? He is selling his left elbow. He hits the Purple Rainmaker with his right elbow. After he hits the Purple Rainmaker, he's clutching his left elbow. I'm like, what is going on here? Isn't his right elbow supposed to be hurt? He's laying there, and I feel like, is he holding the wrong elbow? That's just me, but I don't think he was holding the correct elbow when selling the injury after the Purple Rainmaker. But then Kushida locked in the hoverboard. Velveteen got out of it. Velveteen lifted up Kushida, hit the Dream Valley Driver. Kushida still had the hoverboard lock on. Velveteen Dream tapped out immediately. That was a really good finish. Having Velveteen lift up Kushida while he was in the hoverboard lock, giving him his Dream Valley Driver, and then Kushida still held on to it. I thought that was a great finish right there. And then Kushida held on to the hoverboard lock after he won this match. And then he went back and he put it back on. Velveteen Dream, and he would not let go until officials came running down the ring. I thought that was great. That was great. This is the best Kushida has ever looked in NXT. And I will say it again. This Kushida we saw tonight should have always been the Kushida that we got. He was always one of the most underutilized talent in NXT. And now he got a big chance tonight against Velveteen Dream. And he absolutely crushed it. He crushed it a lot. And I think Velveteen Dream, he's got to be written off television, right? That's why else would Kushida be putting consecutive, would not be letting go of his hoverboard lock. So Kushida wins in a good match here. And we'll see where he goes from here. Next up, we got the match. One of the matches I was looking forward to the most. Next to the NXT Championship match. This is probably the second match I was looking forward to the most. This was Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Santos Escobar for the Cruiserweight Championship. And you guys can tell why I was looking forward to this match most next to the main event. Holy shit. This match, man. This match was fantastic. This was fantastic. I do not remember a time since I was a WWE fan that the Cruiserweight Championship has felt this important. When they debuted at 205 Live back in 2016, TJP was the first champion. Then Brian Kendrick. And then I think it was Rich Swann, and then it went to Pac. Pac holding the Cruiserweight Championship, a.k.a. Neville, was the last time that the Cruiserweight Championship felt this important. Santos Escobar has done a spectacular job as the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. And man, oh man, was there a close near fall that I thought it was it. These near falls in this matchup were freaking overwhelming at points. This was unbelievable. This match was really good in the beginning. Scott flying all over the place around Escobar. Suicide dives. Flying all over the place. You guys know what I mean. And then they slowed things down a bit. And then Legado del Fantasma came out. And then one of Swerve's friends came and helped him out. I did not get the name of this guy. I did not know who he was, so please forgive me. If you guys know who it was, leave it in the comments below. But after those guys left, Swerve was on the outside. He went through the second rope, rolled up. He did a front roll, jumped up. He got caught in a super kick by Santos Escobar into a phantom driver. I swear to God, I thought this was it. I swear to God, man. Swerve Scott kicked out. Swerve Scott kicked out of that phantom driver, and you could tell the expression on Santos Escobar's face. He was like, holy moly, how am I supposed to put this guy away? How am I supposed to put Swerve Scott away? And then later on, Swerve had him where he wanted him. Swerve had this guy. He does his hook kick to Santos Escobar. Top rope. What he hit? Like a 450? He hit a 450 on Santos Escobar. I'm like, this has to be it. This has got to be it. Escobar kicked out. At this point, I'm floored. And I'm like, oh my goodness, man. This is some of the best in-ring work I've seen these guys ever do. And B, I've seen since NXT in the pandemic. If you're going to talk about the end of the year, top 10 NXT matches, 2 of them will be on your list tonight. This is one of them. This is absolutely one of them. Then Swerve goes for it again. Escobar super kicks him in the face. Oh no, then it is on the outside. Swerve hits a exposed part of the back turnbuckle. Then I believe Escobar hit another phantom driver, and Escobar retained the Cruiserweight Championship in what I thought was a fantastic match. This was the best Cruiserweight Championship match since its return in 2016. And I can't remember another good match, another match for the Cruiserweight Championship that was this good. Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. Yes, that was a good match. Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy at Survivor Series 2018. That was a great match. This was better. This was the best Cruiserweight Championship match that I have ever seen since 2016. And I knew that Santos Escobar was going to retain the Cruiserweight Championship because he has had such a great run with this Cruiserweight Championship that he still has a lot in the tank with this championship. And I felt like taking that title off of him tonight would not have been the smart move. And it would kind of bring his momentum and Legado del Fantasma's momentum down a notch. Now that he's the Cruiserweight Champion, I know that we're supposed to get Undisputed Era versus Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch to crown #1 contenders for the tag team titles. I think Undisputed Era win that match. I think Breezango defeat the Undisputed Era to retain the tag team titles. And then at the next Takeover, we get Breezango versus Wild and Mendoza. And then at the end of that night, Legado del Fantasma will have all the gold. Will have, not all the gold, but they will have the Cruiserweight Championship and the Tag Team Championships. This could be when the Undisputed Era eventually get called up, because it's going to happen. These guys will slide right into that role as the top faction on this show. I cannot begin to tell you how amazing of a wrestler Santos Escobar is. Swerve Scott, he is great in his own right. I'm not taking anything away from Swerve Scott. But Santos Escobar, man, he is freaking amazing. And he is, you want to talk about the future of NXT? Just look at your NXT Cruiserweight Champion right now. Santos Escobar is the Cruiserweight Champion. He is the future of NXT. WWE wanted that next big Latino superstar. They had it with Rey Mysterio. His time is coming to an end soon. He's not going to be here forever. They failed on Alberto Del Rio. They failed on Andrade. Angel Garza is not looking so great right now. Santos Escobar is the guy. He is your next Latino superstar. Your next big Latino superstar in the WWE, Santos Escobar. This was a fantastic match. I don't know how much I could praise this match. But my God, this was fantastic. And I'm happy Escobar retained. Next, for the NXT Women's Championship, we got before that, and I forgot to talk about this after the Kushida match, but I might as well talk about it now. We got announced for October 28th. It's going to be NXT Halloween Havoc, hosted by Shotzi Blackheart. So obviously Shotzi is going to have a big role on that night. We'll have to see what happens. But a lot of people were clamoring, and this is probably the only... I'm going to take that back because I'm going to have a few negative points on the next match. A negative point here. A lot of people were campaigning for NXT TakeOver Halloween Havoc on the night of Halloween because Halloween's on a Saturday this year. That would have been a fantastic idea to have NXT TakeOver Halloween. You could have waited for this show on the 31st of October. I'm not saying having the show tonight wasn't a bad option because clearly the 3-week build was worth it, folks. It was worth it. But man, it would have been so much better to have Halloween Havoc take over Halloween Havoc on the 31st. Instead, it's a gimmick on television on a Wednesday night to go up to get ratings against AEW, and that I cannot support. I can't support that. I'm sure the show is going to be great, but this should have been a takeover and not on free television as a gimmick going up against AEW. That's the only reason why they did it on television and not a takeover, because AEW. That's it. Now we get to Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai. This match was great. Was it better than their first match at TakeOver Toronto last year? Not even close. And I'm going to tell you why. Candice LeRae accidentally knocked out the official. Then Io went for a dropkick, and she knocked out the official. And the match went downhill when Candice went for a cover, and Johnny Gargano came down in the referee's shirt, and he did a fast count, and Io Shirai kicked out. This reminded me of Bayley and Sasha Banks from this year's Extreme Rules. I'm like, please tell me we're not going to go down this route again. We just saw this at Extreme Rules and people hated it. But Io kicked out. Then Johnny's getting pissed off. Johnny's like, give me that belt. Give me the belt. He takes the NXT Women's Championship. He's hiding it behind his back. The real referee in the match is like, what are you doing? Get out. He's like, why are you telling me to get out? I'm the official in this match. No, I am. And they, you guys get it. They start bickering back and forth. The women's championship is in front of Candice LeRae. She hits Io with the championship, and Io kicked out. And then eventually Io hit a moonsault on the top rope, and she retained the NXT Women's Championship. That part I did not like. I thought this match got a little bit too overbooked at the end, and that's why it brought it down a couple of notches for me. But this match was still really good, and we're not done here, man. Because after this, we got Toni Storm on the Titantron saying she has accomplished all she has wanted in NXT UK. Now she's back in America. She's back at NXT, and she wants a shot at Io Shirai. So we got Toni Storm back. And then, remember that mystery person who's going to be revealed on 10/4/20? It was the date of tonight's Takeover. It was a woman. She came out, she took off her mask, and it was Ember Moon. So we got Toni Storm and Ember Moon back in the NXT Women's Division. If this division isn't stacked enough, it got 5 times better tonight. I'm not going to say 10, because I'm not going to act like the NXT Women's Division sucked before, but it got 5 times better tonight, just with the addition of Toni Storm and Ember Moon. And now you got Io, you got Ember Moon, you got Toni Storm, Candice, Dakota Kai, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, Shotzi Blackheart, Casey Catanzaro, Kaden Carter, Xia Li, Aaliyah. This is the best women's division in the world. By far. Nobody's going to tell me different. And don't tell me Impact Wrestling, because I don't watch Impact Wrestling every single week. Every week I watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AEW. Out of those 4 shows, NXT has the best women's division. And I don't care what anybody says. It's not even close. It is not even close. And then we got to the main event. Finn Balor defending the NXT Championship against Kyle O'Reilly. A picture-perfect match. Raw. This was excellent. What do you guys expect for this match? This was the biggest match of Kyle O'Reilly's career. The biggest match on this Takeover. This was excellent. I love the pacing of this match. I love the storytelling of this match. And they made a new star. Not now, but they're going to. They're on their way of making a new big star in NXT. And we'll talk about him at the end of this. So, in the very beginning, we got a technical clinic between Kyle and Finn Balor. Technical headlocks, drop kicks, all that stuff. The basics. Very nice. Then Finn Balor kicked Kyle really hard in the stomach. And that's where things turned around. Finn Balor was going after the stomach of Kyle O'Reilly with a couple chops to the chest, more kicks to the stomach, elbows. At one point, he drove his elbow into his rib cage. I felt that before, man. That is very painful. You do not want to be on the receiving end of that. It is very painful. And then Kyle got back into it after he drop kicked Finn's knee after Finn was going for the shotgun drop kick. And this was when the match got really fast. Kyle put a knee bar in. I swear to God, I thought Finn was going to tap out. thought Finn was going to tap out here. He put a reverse 1916. Kyle kicked out. Then Kyle gave Finn a hook kick to the face, and he kicked him right square in the mouth, and Finn Balor was gushing. He was gushing blood, and he kicked out. And then Finn got pissed off, gave Kyle O'Reilly a shotgun drop kick, went to the top rope for the coup de grace, and retained the NXT Championship. I say this all the time on the channel. If there's one match tonight that I wish I would have taken notes for, this was the match. This was the match. There was so much in this match. This was 30 minutes. This was the exact same time that Adam Cole and Finn Balor went on Super Tuesday a month ago. I thought this match was better. I don't know. Both matches were freaking amazing. This was amazing. This was excellent. How many words can you describe in this match? This was excellent. And then after, Finn Balor helped up Kyle O'Reilly. He shook his hand. He's going to raise Finn Balor's hand. Then he throws Finn Balor's hand down. And then all you see in the stands is Ridge Holland holding up a beaten down, destroyed Adam Cole. And then he just throws him at ringside. Then the rest of the Undisputed Era come up. It was like, what happened? What happened to Adam Cole? We need help. Officials, they were asking Finn what happened. He was like, I don't know. I was wrestling Kyle. And that's the way the show went off the air. So it looks like we are kickstarting a feud between Adam Cole and Ridge Holland. And boy, oh boy, they are on their way to making a new star in NXT in Ridge Holland. They're going to make this guy into a big deal. He was undefeated in NXT UK for a couple months. Then he came to NXT. They put him in a match with Johnny Gargano. And now they're putting him in a feud with freaking Adam Cole. Freaking Adam Cole in this guy's first feud in NXT. They are definitely pushing this guy to the moon like they did Karrion Kross. I'm not saying he's going straight for the NXT Championship, but they're pushing him hard, man. Ridge Holland is on his way to becoming one of the bigger names in NXT. As much as I love Adam Cole, I am all for new talent being pushed. And if Adam Cole puts over Ridge Holland, hey man, I will have no problem with it at all. And on the bright side of that, I'm happy the Undisputed Era did not break up tonight. Because if they did break up tonight, I'd be on this review being a depressed man. I'd be being really depressed right now. But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this NXT TakeOver 31 review. Again, this show I thought was awesome. I really enjoyed this show tonight. This was an awesome TakeOver. It flew by. The 2.5 hours went really fast. And I thought this was the best TakeOver since the pandemic. And the Capitol Wrestling Center, night one, presentation looks great. I hope they can keep their momentum up on television on NXT. We'll have to see what happens Wednesday night. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every single one of you who tuned in to the review tonight. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel. We are at 223 subscribers here on the channel. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel, and I hope you enjoy my content here on the Big Fight Field channel. Comment down below, man. I want to know all of your thoughts. All of it on tonight's NXT TakeOver show. Hit that like button if you like what I had to say about tonight's TakeOver show. And then follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph. And folks, I will see you for a new, fresh week of content right here on the Big Fight Field channel, starting tomorrow night with Monday Night Raw. Have a good night, guys, and stay safe.